Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Usas. Welcome to Usas Vlog. I'm here to um, share the good gospel that is happening in Minnesota. There's a particular a YouTuber. I can call him a YouTuber. I can also call him an activist. I can also call him a a mm, mm, a patriotic citizen of the United States of America. His name is Nick Shelley. So you can check him on YouTube, you can search on him, and you will see him. So this particular activist, a YouTuber, a patriotic citizen of United States, when he started by interviewing people, traveling to different places. Then he came across a particular man that has been investigating the fraud taking place in Minnesota. So all of a sudden, he decided to, join hands together and fight this corruption that is happening in Minnesota. There is no particular place where you won't find fraud. In my country, Nigeria, fraud is like a daily activities. Here in Nigeria, it happens every day. It happens every minute. It happens every second. So fraud, we are used to it already. Do you get? So that is why me, I'm seriously against fraud. So here in Nigeria, whenever we notice corruption is taking place, we just look at it as if is their normal ways of ruling themselves, not we, because we are not benefiting anything from the Nigerian government. There is nothing we are benefiting. There is nothing. Go to my state, Edo State, kidnappers as I don't want to deviate away from today's topic. So let's focus on today's topic. Let's react. I'm here to react, and I would have loved to show you guys the video when Nick started interviewing this awesome man. There's a particular man, I'm mistaking his name for David or Daniel, something like that. I know his name started with D, something like that. So I will be addressing that man as a wonderful man. So Nick and the wonderful man, Nick is, questioning the wonderful man that, okay, you said that this particular state is corrupt. Is it that bad? Then the wonderful man replied that in the history that this state, Minnesota, is the worst when it comes to fraud. That fraud is just like a daily activity, it's like what is happening in Nigeria. The same thing goes to that particular state. But me, I'm wondering, United States of America is a developed country. A developed country. Why is it that fraud is still taking place in such a country that has good technology, that has good road, that has good electricity, that has everything? They are number one. So why is it that they are still embracing fraud? Why is it that they are not contented with what they have? What is happening in Minnesota? Why are the leaders in Minnesota allegedly doing what they ought to stay away from? So today I want you to listen. Then I will, in case you don't understand what they are saying, I will buttress on it. I will explain it. I will digress it to you. I will make sure you understand it to the end. Thank you. So let me play it so that you can listen to what they are saying. So Nick, don't forget the other man's name. I address him as a wonderful man.
You've been living here for years now.
So Nick is talking.
How bad is this fraud?
So I was born in Minneapolis
Wonderful man talking.
a long time ago.
Listen.
I've lived my whole life here. And my opinion is that this is the worst fraud in human history, what is occurring in Minnesota and more specifically in the Twin Cities right now.
How much money do you think has been sent around fraudulently here inside Minnesota?
Over the years, I would say anywhere from 80 to 100 billion dollars.
Wow.
And right now, the big controversy is with Tim Walz and his government and the fraud that they've allowed to happen within the Somalian community. Right behind us is Cedar Riverside, a location where it is very densely populated with Somalians. how had Somalians gotten into the system to fraud the American taxpayer?
Well, so that complex you're seeing behind there, I attended the University of Minnesota, and in the area we're on right now, this is the West Bank, and it was always called the West Bank, and it was sort of the place to be when you're in college, and that was all student housing, 100%. That building you see in the background, it's now 100% Somali. And I can tell you confidently, they don't pay for their housing, they don't pay for their food, they don't pay for their vehicles. And on top of that, they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fraudulent companies set up, and they're sucking billions of dollars out of the state of Minnesota.
Wow.
And how are they sucking billions of dollars out of the state of Minnesota?
Well, one example would be with the hundreds of child care facilities that they have set up. And on every one that I visited, and I've been to maybe 100 of them or more, I never, ever have seen one child at any facilities ever over the past 7 years, 8 years.
What are the businesses that are being used to fraud the taxpayer here in Minnesota? You have the daycares. What are all of them?
So you have, you have child care, you have adult daycare, you have in-home health care, you have straight health care, and nobody really knows how that's defined.
Wow.
And then you have transportation, non-emergency medical transportation. And if you do a search, you'll see that the state of Minnesota says they have 1,020 non-emergency medical transportation companies. And my research is showing that 95% of those are Somali owned. And what I know is that the people writing the checks at the state of Minnesota never, ever, ever verify that any trip was ever made, or that any appointment was ever made with a dentist, chiropractor, or anything.
And so these people are able to start these businesses and then immediately get funds from the government?
Yes, so interesting.
Wow. No, I want to understand something. In Minnesota, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it very well. Is it just one particular community that is in Minnesota? Because yesterday I played Nick video that he posted yesterday. I discovered that he actually concentrated the fraud on a particular community called Somali community. But I was wondering, is it just Somali community that lives in Minnesota or that stays in Minnesota? Why is it that every fraud, every little fraud, they have to trace it down to that community? They have to trace it down to Somali community. Why? I want to understand something. Is it that you guys are the one dominating Minnesota, or you guys are the one that is more clever, or you guys are the one that is more superior, or you guys are the one? I just want to know, because United States of America, that I know, that I've had, that I know about little of their history, is being owned by the Americans. So why is it that a nobody enter the country, look at the country, look at the beauty of the country, and decided to start defrauding the country? Why? And the worst part of it is that this Somali is in Africa. Why can't we Africans do without fraud? Why can't we just stay and sorry, I want to use the word, mind our business? Why can't we just preach the good part of Africa when we travel outside the country? Why is it that Africa, whenever they are talking about fraud, Africans are always there? Africans are always there. Now, you travel to a particular country. Getting to that country, you notice good road. You notice good freedom of speech. Because not n- not even in Africa, your freedom of speech is not guaranteed after you after you utter something that you supposed not to. But in United States of America, you notice that freedom of speech is 100%. Is 100%. And you decided that your freedom of movement that you are using to walk on a tight road, you are working on it to the fraudulent parts. Why? Why can't you emulate the good part of America? Why can't you make Americans see Africa as a lovely, kinded, hearted, how will I put this word, that will make it make sense? Now, now, this wonderful man is telling Nick that you guys are using not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, up to like even more than six to defraud. Is if you guys if you guys are well mannered, well learned, well oriented, you will know that America is one of the best country in the world that you don't need to mess with. When you travel to your country, you will see bad leaders that deprive you from freedom of movement. You can move to a certain place, but the freedom of movement is not 100. The freedom of speech is not 100. Now you travel to a particular place, you discover fraud, and you decided to move and play around to make sure that yes, you deal with that country. Are you not happy seeing that country? Are you not happy seeing United States of America? Are you not happy seeing the good work of the previous presidents? Now, this incumbent president Donald Trump, are you not seeing the good work? Why can't you guys just support him? Stop whatever evils that you guys are doing. Eh? Yesterday we talked about how you guys defrauded the good people of Minnesota with transportation, fake transportation that is not existing, transportation company that is not existing. Nick and this wonderful man went outside yesterday to check if truly this particular company they are existing, but it's not existing. But millions of dollars has entered into that company and be run by the Minnesota community. If you guys don't want to open doors, because with what you guys are doing now, that is what made Donald Trump to say no, underdeveloped country out. There is no visa for you guys again. So you guys need to change. You need to change. You need to change your character, your perspective, your view. You need to change it. You need to change your orientation. You need to start educating your children. Because when you fail to educate them, they are still the leaders of tomorrow. Let me tell you something. No man will watch you come into his house to come and destroy the house. No man will watch you. Even you, I believe you that is doing fraud. If someone should do that same thing to you, how will you feel? Won't you feel bad? Or will you be feeling happy? I'm in a country where fraud takes place. Then I will now find myself in another man's country tomorrow, and I will decided to still be doing that thing that I know that I was preaching against. That I know that each time I remember, I always get so mad at what they are doing in my country. Now, one of the major objectives or one of the major aims of we traveling, leaving our country is to go and explore so that we can see, learn, and come back to our state, to our country, to develop it, to educate our people. Not we leaving our country to another country and start doing a fraud over there. If you are not engaged fraud, that means you are not ready to change. But when you are ready to change, that means you are engaged fraud. So let's continue.
Interestingly, that you bring up licensing, because another area of fraud that I exposed was all of these autism centers, because I would drive around the Twin Cities. I said, well, there's another autism center. I said, what's going on with all this autism? Is there something in the water? And then I started to look at, well, who owns these autism centers? And virtually 99% of them were owned by Somalis.
Wow.
And is there an autism outbreak?
Autism. I don't know. I don't know if you know autism, like the special needs care. And this wonderful man said that he went to the place and he discovered that this particular uh, autism center is being run by the Somali community, and he found out something strange. So let's see what he found out. He found something strange in that center.
Break here in Minnesota right now?
There is not. But to open an autism center, you do not need a license.
And so people are.
So what he's saying right now is that these Somali people, they open a center for special needs. And this wonderful man is saying that to open that particular center in America or in Minnesota, you don't need an approval. You can just open it. Do you get? So let's hear further.
People are claiming their children are autistic to receive money from the government.
Yes.
And the government, underneath Tim Walz's leadership, they're not going in, investigating, and doing their due diligence to say, maybe we shouldn't give this company $1 million.
Well, so what's happening is there have been some sporadic inspections done at these facilities, and I have records of some of these inspections. And one inspection, they'll get 11 violations. A child care facility with 11 violations, that is bad. I mean, unsanitary conditions, broken furniture, no play area for the children. And so they write these things in their report, but then they never follow up to make sure. They never physically revisit the site to make sure that any of those violations are corrected. What they accept is documentation from the center that they've made the corrections.
So at the end of the day, they're able to violate certain guidelines, yet they still receive money somehow. How is there not somebody inside the state who's saying, okay, we're seeing this fraud happen, let's maybe not just continue to give money to these people?
So you've probably heard the term Minnesota nice before, which back in the old times, in the old days, it meant something. Now it's actually a curse upon us, because the people here, the majority of the people, they're afraid of their own shadows. I'm an outcast because I'm exposing this fraud. I'm telling the truth. My family has basically disowned me because of all of this fraud that I've uncovered, and I've been called a racist, an Islamophobe, white supremacist, Nazi, all these things. And I said, look, everything that I talk about is verified. I have it in writing. I've gone to politicians. I've gone to Washington, D.C. over the years. I said, look, this fraud is out of control. This is approaching $100 billion. And now you see the U.S. attorney, they started with defeating our future, $250 million. I said, no, that's amateur hour. Then they said it's $1 billion. Now, just today, the U.S. attorney held a press conference and said the fraud is possibly as much as $18 billion, but we don't really know what period of time. And I'm telling you, it's way more than that. You have transportation, autism, child care, daycare, healthcare, and nobody knows what's healthcare, because they're not healthcare providers. So what is the healthcare? They have in-home healthcare.
Now, let me explain. Nick further interviewed this wonderful man, and during their discussion, this wonderful man told Nick that, hey, bro, these people, they are very, very wicked. These people collected money from governments in disguise that they have autism center for for special children. So government keep sponsoring pumping money into it without them verifying if truly if there are kids in that center or not. Now, this wonderful man further said that his own parents, his own family disown him for speaking out because the majority people in Minnesota, they are scared of their life. You talk in Nigeria, there's one thing that we normally say: you talk, you die. You not talk, you die. Let me kukuma talk and die. That is what this wonderful man is doing right now. When he started this, a lot of people were bashing him. A lot of people were criticizing him. Excuse me. Like, what is your motive? Why are you trying to open what people are saying as normal to what will you benefit from the inside? But when they notice that this wonderful man is very, very stubborn, is not ready to back down, is not ready to listen to anybody, they started calling him racist. They started calling him name, Islamophobia. They started calling him names because he decided to fish out these people that is doing this fraud. And he said it. He said that he has been to the White House. He has been to different places just to voice out, but nobody's listening to him. Thank God that Donald Trump entered. If not, nobody will listen to him. So, how can you, Somali people, come, let me talk to you, come. How can you travel to a particular place and decided to be doing fraud, decided to be punishing that particular state? Because the more you guys are eating money that is meant for public and you guys are just eating it alone, the more you guys are doing it, the more you guys are punishing other good citizens of that state. Fraud is fraud. Little or big, fraud is fraud. When you are against fraud, make sure you are against it to the least part. Don't be against fraud and at the end you go and take small. You taking small, that means you support it. But you removing yourself away from it, that means you are against it. I want to be the president of my country. I want to be the vice president of my country. I want to be the governor of my country. I want to be a senator of my constituency. Is this how you are going to rule your people? Is this how you are going to? Is not rule because we don't vote for you to come and rule. We vote for you to come and serve. Is this how you will serve your people? Is this how you will serve your people in a fraudulent way? America is number one. United States of America is the number one, the champion. Nobody can take that away from them. But there's one thing I noticed about that country that they need to work on. They need to work on their constitution. They need to make it possible that if you are not from that country, I don't want to hear I'm a citizen by birth. Forget about citizen by birth. If your dad, your mom, if they are not from that country, you don't have any right to fight for any political position, especially the president. The president, the governor, and the representative. You don't have any business to do with them because a man that owns his house cannot allow another man to come and destroy his house. So if the Americans are wise enough, they should do something very important. Now, you can't go to Arabic country. You can't go to Dubai and as a Christian and you are planning to, to fight for a particular position. It's never allowed. They will never allow you to do that. Now, this evening, I saw something that this lieutenant governor, also popularly known as a deputy governor, they swore her in with Quran. I'm not against it. Do you get? I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against religion practice. But there's something I want to bring. Now, they swore her in as the lieutenant governor of a particular state I don't want to mention in America. Now, you can agree with me that that woman, if that woman is from the Arabic country and she decided to convert to a Christian and she want to fight for a position, do you think that woman, do you think they will elect her? Do you think she will win? Or do you think after the election, do you think they will swear her in as the what? They will never. Because it's against their rules over there. But America is a very free, welcoming country. People are saying they are racist, they are racist. If they are racist, my brother, you will not be there. People, you are saying that they are racist. Why can't you be doing something that will make them believe that what they are, the propaganda that they are pushing, that they are narrating, is not true? Why can't you start building the love? Why can't you start making it look so like, the way you are tagging us, it's not like this, it's like this. Why can't you guys do it? I'm against racist. Do you get? But what is happening in America right now? Americans, they need Donald Trump. They need him. It's even better for him to go again 8 times. It's better for Donald Trump to go again 8 good times so that he can fight these people, these bad eggs that want to destroy what the fighters back then fought for. Before America became what it is today, people lost their life. People died. People went down. So you that hail from a particular country in the Africa, you want to go to that country that people sacrifice their life for, to go and destroy, to go and like make it look like underdeveloped country. It's not done. So let's listen. Let's move further.
And so what's the need, for example, for 1,200 transportation companies inside of Minnesota? What's the need for that many transportation?
Well, there isn't. There isn't. You're talking about getting a right. You already have services that are provided. You have Metro Mobility that offers free rides to seniors and low-income people. And so to have that many non-emergency medical transportation companies, it's not possible that they can transport that many people. I have been to many of these transportation companies, and I've been time stamping my photographs for a whole year at one facility in Minneapolis, and those vans in that parking lot have not moved 1 inch in an entire year. They're all still sitting there.
And so when you think about it, you have, with the transportation companies, you have the adult care centers. So are they working hand in hand together to then say, we're getting the services from them, the adult daycare centers, to then transport them to their appointments?
So my feeling is this transportation deal is kind of the belly of the beast, because you also have these charter schools, and there's a school in North Minneapolis called Bonadier Academy. It's a K through 12 school. So that's K through 12. So that's 13 years, 13 classes, right? And they say they have 150 students. I found data that they have 136. So that's 10 people per class. If that's How is that possible? And they're getting somewhere around $20 to $30 million a year for what?
So 130 students, and they're receiving around $20 million.
Or more. Yes.
A lot of these schools are.
Yes.
The fraud here is like exuberant amount of numbers as to how much they're actually enabling to happen here. We went to a fraud committee, and you saw the people. I even confronted one of the ladies myself, and she started to blame the fraud and deflecting it upon how there's fraud everywhere. And she didn't take any accountability. She didn't take responsibility. In fact, she blamed Trump for the fraud that's been happening here inside of Minnesota.
Right. So Kristen Robbins is the chairwoman of the fraud committee, and she was attacked by that Democrat member you were just talking about for not telling that committee about all this fraud. Well, the law says in Minnesota that if you are an elected or public official and you are aware of fraud or suspected fraud, it's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9, that you must report that fraud or suspected fraud immediately to the Office of the Legislative Auditor, the OLA, and then the OLA decides which law enforcement agency to refer the complaint to.
And they failed to do that.
No, Kristen Robbins did that. She said, I reported it to the OLA, and the Democrat, she had no idea how things work in Minnesota. She was just so enraged about all this fraud getting exposed.
Yeah, because they don't want to take accountability because the fraud is so blatant. You can go to any of these daycare centers. There are no children anywhere.
Last Saturday, I was in front of the governor's mansion, and I was attacked by 3 Somali men. It's on camera. I made a 911 call. Nobody came to help me.
Wow.
The week before that, I fought off a knife attack. And these people are very violent, and people are afraid of them. The police are even afraid of them. And the police chief is out there telling the public, if you see an ICE agent, call 911.
Wow.
I mean, it's insanity. It's just pure evil. I mean, it's...
Now, let's directly talk about the Somali population because, for instance, you get attacked by 3 Somalians. The police don't come. They're told to call police if they see ICE. How come Somalians have been able to get such a strong foothold here inside of Minnesota, specifically here in Minneapolis?
The reason is that the Somali community is a closed community. What I mean by that is they do not talk to outsiders, and they are ruled with an iron fist by the Somali mafia. And one of those guys is the guy who just got convicted of $7.2 million of fraud, a unanimous jury verdict, and Judge Sarah West overturned the verdict. I couldn't believe it. That was my discovery of all that fraud. I'm the one who got that guy brought before the jury, and then they find him guilty, and they let him go. And now you have Keith Ellison who says he's going to appeal the verdict. Well, he's a Muslim. He's going to find a way to screw it up.
So even if they are committed for fraud, that guy, he's committed for how much?
7.2 is what the unanimous jury verdict, 7.2 million.
And then they just went ahead and released him.
The judge overturned the verdict. He's walking free as we speak, still collecting money from the state.
Wow.
And it's federal money too. So we need the feds to come in here because this is not all state money. There's federal money that's involved here, and it's way beyond anybody's imagination, the total amount. The state doesn't even know. The feds don't even know.
And so, for instance, why would that judge bow down to the head of the Somali mafia here?
What I can tell you is that it's a voting bloc, and what they say is if you do something to go against our community, we're going to vote for, and they all vote together, and there's ballot harvesting, I've seen them do it, that we're going to vote for your opponent unless you do what we tell you to do.
And so it's all purely for votes.
Yes.
And so this building right here, Cedar Riverside, major, massive apartment complex. How many Somalians do you think live in there, for instance?
Well, this is just one complex. You've got 20 more just like this around the Twin Cities, and they're all Somali. You're talking probably 100,000 or more people, and they're all living rent-free. They're driving a vehicle that you paid for. They're eating food that you paid for. Everything they do is something that you paid for.
And for instance,
Okay. Now look at what am I holding? Can you see this? This particular thing that I'm holding right now, we use it to catch mosquitoes. We use it to remove mosquitoes away from our room. Now, Somali people, come, I want to talk to you. Let me tell you something. Can you hear what this wonderful man is talking? Can you hear what this wonderful man is saying? Can you hear what this wonderful man is explaining? Can you see now? Can you see how bad it is for your community? Can you see that your community now has exposed a lot of things about your country? Now, any developed country now that want to welcome your people into their community, they will now be very, very careful because of the bad ones. And look at what this wonderful man is saying. He said that you guys always work hand in hand. Whatever Mr. A say, that is what Mr. B will answer. And that whenever people try to, ask you guys, whenever people try to tell you guys to be accountable for what you guys are doing, then the mafians will come and attack that person. Now, this money that we all are chasing after, at the end of the day, don't forget that this life is like a contract. You will get to a particular age in your life. You will leave the earth. Some will not even get to that. Some that decided to go into something that will, move them, they will not get to that. It's just like a football. Now, I want to kill this mosquito. This mosquito don't want me to kill. Oh, sorry, I don't want to use that word. Now, this life is just like a football field, or it's just like a football. When a particular club sign a coach, and the coach decide to start winning, the club will retain him for that years that they both agreed together. But when the coach decided to start today win, tomorrow lose, next tomorrow lose, win, lose, then the management will not like, no, I know we both agreed 20 years, but right now we can't guarantee you that 20 years. You need to stop. That is life. We all pray for long life and prosperity. But when we are now doing something that is making that long life and prosperity run away from us, that means you will leave the world. The money that you have been fighting, pursuing, you will never eat it. We have politicians here in Nigeria now that that the money that they have, even if they decided not to work, their children decided not to work, their wives decided not to work till they will leave this earth, they will never get poor. But guess what? You will see a 90 years old man as president still embezzling money. What do you want to use the money for? That is what we call greed. What do you want? Is that not wickedness? The same thing applies to you guys, Somali people. They say, you talk, you die. If you not talk, you will still die. So let me Kukuma talk and die. That is what this wonderful man is doing right now. Whenever someone try to hold you guys accountable for you guys' crime, you guys will start tagging the person as a racist. You start tagging the person as this person is Islamophobia, or different things. This guy does not like Africans. This guy does not like the black. But when the black people try to, associate with you guys in your community, you guys push them away. But right now, you guys, I'm saying it, look at my skin. I'm black. I'm black from Nigeria. So if you are a black man in America, especially in Minnesota, and you are allowing them to cajole you, and you are allowing them to use you, and you are allowing them to manipulate you, to be against the good people of America, that means you are not a real black person. A real black person will never support fraud. A real black person will never side fraud. A real black person will be against fraud, because the major reason why they left, why the major reason why they leave their home is to go to other country to explore, to be well educated, and come back to their country to develop their country. When you ask a Nigerian man today in the United States of America that, would you like to go home to Nigeria? He will look at you and he will smile. Yes, I would love to go home to my country. I have a beautiful people in my country, but I'm here for a particular thing. And what is that thing? It's money. Money and and exposure. They want to learn. They want to make money and go back to Africa and develop their community. When you check Nigeria today, the Nigeria that I'm staying today, when you see good houses, it's not a civil servant that they are paying 17,000 naira as minimum wage. Or it's not a civil servant that is earning 100,000 naira, 200,000 naira, 300,000 naira. No. The people that you will see that owns those fine houses, number one, politicians that they are into fraud. Number two, the people outside the country. The people outside the country. Number three, because of lack of job, lack of accountability for the government, now the youth has decided to be doing, I don't want to mention name. You know what I mean by my demonstration. They've decided to start doing it for them to survive, for them to live. While we are asleep, they will be pressing. They will be pressing to convince another person in another country that money that is in your account, we need it here in Nigeria. If our governments are doing the right thing, they will never option for that. They will never option for that. Just imagine here in Nigeria, you will work for 30 days. You will be paid 70,000 naira. How much is 17,000 naira? How much is 17,000 naira? It's not even up to 70 dollar. It's not even up to $70. When you convert $70 now to the $100, you will see that $100 is still above the 70. And when you convert $70 to Nigeria currency, you see that it's above even the 70,000 naira that they are paying here in Nigeria. Now imagine, everything in Nigeria is very expensive. Very expensive. Now just imagine, I, Osas, leaving this country to another country. Do you think that getting to that country, that I can easily call the cop when they try to rob me, or when emergency, I can easily call, or I can walk on a road or I can walk on a very good high road, or I can access their public hospital well equipped. Then I will not be like, now it is time for me to defraud this wonderful country. Does that make any sense? Somali people, does that make any sense? You need to start educating. You need to start telling yourself. You need to start letting yourself know that this road that your people are passing, that is not the best road to pass. That is not the best road to take. That is not the best thing to do. So you need to start educating them. You need to start letting them know that this issue of fraud, we should stop it. These are the major reasons why I'm saying we should stop it. You guys travel to a particular country and you guys decided to isolate yourself away from the people in that country. You guys refuse to learn what they are into. You guys refuse to, practice what they are practicing in that country. Does that make any sense? When you travel to Rome, you behave like a Roman. You travel to my country, Nigeria, you behave like a Nigerian. You adapt to their system. You follow the rules and regulations. You understand your left from your right. Not you trying to manipulate everything. Nobody hates you. Nobody, it's not as if nobody want to associate their self with you. But because of what you guys are doing, what is happening in your community, a lot of people are now scared to associate their self with you. Minnesota, before you guys got to that place, Minnesota is one of the best states in America. But all of a sudden, a lot of things started happening there. A lot of things started happening there. Fraud, stealing, killing started taking place in that particular place. It's just like Iran in Africa. Iran is one of the peaceful country back then, years back. But with the system of introduction of, you understand, I don't want to start diverting. They started making people, they started depriving people away from their freedom of speech, freedom of movement. Now you guys are protesting. They are sponsoring you guys to protest against the good work of Nick and this wonderful man, the good work of Donald Trump. They are sponsoring you guys, and you guys are happy about it. You guys are happy about it. Meanwhile, in your country, you can't do that in your country. In your country, you can't do that in your country. So, my advice for you is to try your possible best to be well-mannered. If you are a Somali Christian or Muslim, try to practice your religion in a way, in an understanding way. Let me put it in that way, in an understanding way. You know that this thing is bad. Don't do it. Do the good one. Let the good one lead. So let's continue. Let's listen to what they are saying, Nick and the wonderful man.
That entire block will then go and vote for one specific candidate.
They'll have one person go there and collect all the ballots, and nobody tracks. They could say they have 9 people living in an apartment. They're going to send them 9 ballots. And then they have someone who comes along, collects all the ballots, and they fill them out, and then they deliver them all to the ballot box or wherever they deliver them all at once. There's no verification. Nobody's doing anything to know if these people are even citizens that are voting.
And how well have they integrated into society here?
Not at all. It's either you do things their way or you're a racist or an Islamophobe and you will be attacked. My life's been threatened many times. I've had people tell me, just stop doing what you're doing. They're gonna take you out. And I can't do it because everybody says somebody ought to do something about that. I'm that somebody. I'm the guy who's doing something about it.
What led you to want to do this, where you're so passionate about it, where you've done your own investigation? If you were working for the government, you'd be called a whistleblower. Thankfully, you're a whistleblower in your own way as far as you're coming out with the information, with the numbers. When we went to all the daycare centers, you had the numbers specifically as to how much money these people have been receiving at these daycares. And there wasn't a single daycare inside of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area that wasn't receiving at least $1 million.
Yeah, so we hit 3 of the top. And so when you're talking about money going to the daycare, we were looking just specifically at CCAP money, which is child care assistance payments. And the one daycare we went to on Chicago Avenue that said they had 102 children, they got $3.6 million in fiscal year 2025. And in 2024, they got $2.8 million. And how many kids did we see there? 0. In fact, we didn't see a single child at any of the child care facilities. And that's the way they all are every single day.
And I want to keep going in about how Somalia has gained such a stronghold of this area of Minnesota. They're building mosque block to block in St. Cloud. That's just about an hour away from Minneapolis. And here in Minneapolis and St. Paul and the Twin Cities, you have entire apartment complexes where there are not a single white Caucasian living inside.
Right.
And then you also have, I've heard in Rochester, it's pretty bad as well. But how did they come in and then expand to the point where they kicked out everybody from a college area to where the point where they have now the apartment complex? How have they expanded so much here inside of Twin Cities areas?
It's because they all stick together. They all sing the racist Islamophobe mantra over and over and over. They'll lie. They'll say that you assaulted them. They'll do all these things until eventually they force people out. Right up the road from us, that place was legendary. And what happened was the residents who live in that building right behind us filed so many false reports against patrons of that bar and the bar itself that the city went to the owners of Palmer's Bar and said, look, you either shut down voluntarily or we're going to drag you through and we're going to make you spend a lot of money and we're still going to shut you down. Wow. So that bar has been shut down, and now they're going to turn it into what? Another mosque.
So you push out what used to be Minnesota staples, such as Palmer's Bar, and now that bar is turning into a mosque.
There's a mansion over on 24th and Park Avenue, a historic building. They bought that. They're turning that into a mosque. They're building another brand new mosque not far away. And it's like you're in a dream and there's something really bad happening to you and you're screaming and all these people are walking by and nobody hears you. That's what I live every day. That's my life every day. But I'm committed to doing what I can to end this. I just want it to stop.
And how have you seen the weaponization of the word racist and Islamophobe take power here?
It's incredibly powerful, and all I can describe it as evil. It is an evil that has taken hold here, and it's permeated all of our society. And the people in Minnesota, they just want to stick their head in the sand and pretend it doesn't. Somebody will do something about it. They don't have to do anything, or it's not going to affect them. And they don't. In their mind, they want to redecorate the upstairs bedroom when there's a massive crack in the foundation that's allowing all this water and dirt and everything to get in there. And they're worried about the upstairs bedroom. It's insanity.
And real quick break from the interview to tell you guys about the sponsor of this video, Opus Clip. What used to just be an AI editor has now become the most powerful AI growth tool for creators and businesses. Over 10 million creators and businesses have started to use Opus Clip, and it's helped them gain over 60.
No. Let me explain what the wonderful man explained. Now, this wonderful man says something. Nick actually asked him a question that, sir, how strong is this Islamophobia thing? How strong it is here in Minnesota? And this wonderful man explained, like this wonderful man now nod his head, like this thing is very, very strong here. They started it just to, push a a narrative that the people of America, the people of Minnesota, the white people, they don't like Muslim. They hate Muslim. Just for them to penetrate into the American system. Just for them to penetrate into the America system. Now, my question goes, what is you guys' aim? What is you guys' objective? What is you guys' major reason of running to America? Is it to change the system? Or is it to change the religion? Or is it to change the the politics that is taking place there in United States of America? What is your major aims? What is your purpose there? Is it to start practicing fraud? Is it to start doing fraud? Is it to start doing things that is not meant for the people of America? Make me to understand. Because this wonderful man said something. He said, when you try to ask them questions, when you try to hold them accountable for what they are doing, they will start tagging you as a racist. They will start using those words to intimidate you, those words to weigh you down. That is why majority of them that want to, investigate this fraud that is actually taking place in Minnesota, they are not scared to say it out. They are not scared to investigate. They are not scared to come out because of what they will tag them with. Is that they tag them as a racist? Is that they tag them as this person does not like my religion? Is it that they tag them, these people, they don't like Africa? So with those things, they are scared. They don't want to be tagged. Now, according to this wonderful man, that they claim that they have a center for children, and they went to that place. There is nothing there. They didn't even see one child there. They didn't see just one child. They didn't see it there. And government has been pumping money in that place without them verifying, without them checking. These people, they said that they have children. Let's verify how true how true is this. Let's verify it. Not like that. They keep pumping money. They keep pumping money. They keep pumping money in that place. Then the Minnesota. That is why that boy said something. He said that the whites, he called them a particular name. I don't want to say it. He called them, and I say he said that the white people that they are in the they are there to work, and the Somali people, they are there to eat. And this wonderful man just explain it now that most of them don't work. They depend on these fraudulent acts just to survive, just to live, just to eat. Without fraud, they won't eat. That is why a lot of crimes is taking place in Minnesota. You talk, you move. You talk, you buy. You don't talk, you will stick by. So this man now, Kukuma make it talk and buy. So my good people, I know in some Somali community, I know there are good people. I can never generalize it as you guys are bad. There are good people and there are bad people. So you that is saying the bad people, why can't you just talk to them? There are ways you can talk to someone in a playway method. You can use playway method to talk to someone. Do you know that? You can ah my friend, come. I can see you are doing something. What you are doing is not good to play with. Second day, Abdul, I've noticed you have changed. Oh. Is it because I told you that day that what you are doing is not good? That is why you changed. Abdul now reply. "Hmm, I later reason it and I discover you are right. These are ways, these are diplomatic ways for you to start educating your people that fraud is bad. For you to start educating them that doing fraud is bad, is evil. They don't need to start doing fraud. Fraud is not good. Fraud kills. Fraud destroy. Fraud can spoil a particular place within how many seconds? What is meant for everybody? Now 3 people are not eating it. 5 people are not eating it. Is that the best way to live? Is that the best way to rule, to serve? Is that the best way to encourage others about the system of government in that state? Fraud is no, no. Fraud is no, no. Don't embrace fraud. Don't embrace fraud. And stop thinking that the money that they are paying you won't reach your family, won't be okay with you guys. Manage it. There are people that they don't even have what they are paying you. Why are you not contented with what you have? The good people of Minnesota, they are tired of all this fraud. Because whatever money that is meant for a particular place, when you refuse to use it in that place, you are punishing everybody except those that benefited from it. Fraud is fraud. There is no how you are going to define fraud. There is no how you are going to explain fraud to me. What I know is fraud is fraud. Whether big or small is fraud. A sin is sin. Whether you are still a sinner. That is why in God's eyes we are a sinner. Thank God that according to Christians, that Jesus came to die for us. So those sin now, it will not start from when you started doing bad. We know that yes, a lot of people they will go and do bad, they will go and kneel down in church and oh my Father in heaven, please forgive me my sin. I pray I won't do it again. Now their sin has been forgiven. 2 days later, they will do the same thing. Oh God, please forgive me my sin. I've done something. Their sin will be forgiven because why? We have and we serve a a father that forgives, a father that directs, a father that leads, because it's only God that can lead us away from temptation. When you are not okay with what you have, there is difference between you trying to, maybe this particular thing now they are selling it for 100,000 naira. And you know a particular place where you can, buy it for this person that want to buy this thing for 50,000 naira. And that particular place you went to, when you buy it there, even the 50,000 naira, you are still having nothing less than 5,000 naira. That one is business. But not that what you know is meant for a particular community and you want to embezzle it, you want to eat it all alone. That is fraud. That is corruption. And that is very, very bad. Please Let's encourage the Somali community. Let's make them know that yes, fraud is bad. We are engaged fraud. So today I don't want to talk I don't want to talk for a longer period of time. I just want to talk in a shorter form. So please try and understand this and have peace. Fraud is fraud, no matter how small it is. Fraud is fraud. I say no to fraud today from Nigeria. I say no to fraud today in the whole world. Fraud is not welcome in this world. If you know the people that you are serving, if you know they are passing through a lot, you will know that yes, it's not good to practice fraud. Fraud is a no. We say no to fraud. Fraud is no. So thank you guys for joining me today to talk on what Dick and this wonderful man David what they are saying. Thank you for listening. So we still have another thing to discuss. The video is very long, so but I it was not it was like it was not long ago I came back from work, and I want to relax and I want to rest my head. So please, if you have a Somali person as a friend, wherever that person is, try to educate that person. Try to start preaching to that person that fraud is bad. Fraud is a no. No country wants to associate themselves with fraud. Even the people that they are into fraud, when they discover that you yourself you are a fraudster, they will like to push you away, because there is nothing that they are going to benefit from you. Instead, they believe that you are coming to come and steal from them, and they are fraud too, they are fraudster too. They will be looking at you that this person is a fraudster. Okay, I will never allow this person to name, because he knew from the onset that if this person should come, this person will embezzle a lot of money from them. So that is why you never see a fraudulent person that is not in the system with what they are actually benefiting from. They will never like to attach yourself with that type of person. Maybe the person is doing other fraud in another place that is not related to their own field. They will never bring that person to that place, that to that field, that yes, except if they are friends. That is when yes. But when they discover that this person is a fraudster, they will like to associate themselves away from him so that the person should not go and steal from them. Can you see how trickish it is? So today I say no to fraud. So tomorrow we talk more on it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. God bless you. Amen. Bye.